you know, what's your relationship with nature, and yeah, and what do you, yeah.
Well, that's a whole thing. That's pretty much my whole life. But I think
like for your whole life, or was it like something that kind
because
of?
I think it played a huge part in my life. Like I think it's
so
one of those
definitely
things
an
that
important relationship.
yeah, I think so. This is something that I'm learning too, but I feel like it's really important to. This is like one of those again deeper truths, and a lot of people are distant from it. I think the first thing to understand is like we look at nature as if like, oh, I'm going to nature. Like I think the really deeper truth, first of all, to understand is we're not separate from nature. Like there's no separateness. There's no like this is nature and this is me, or
we are
like
nature.
So
yeah,
you hear nature and you hear like unity.
yeah,
Something
it's
like
it's me.
yeah.
It's
I am
me just
nature,
as much
yeah.
as it is it.
Yeah.
So I think it's really important to when I'm in nature, it's not like I'm in nature. I'm just at home.
You're
Like,
just
I'm
at a new place in your house.
yeah, it's just home. It's just like anywhere is home. Like being
Yeah.
in a building, in a condo building, is home. I think when the reason I want to touch on that, I think it's really important because the more we separate ourselves from nature, because we're as humans we think we're separate. Like so see how that belief is turning out to prove it's a reality.
Yeah, bro.
So now we're literally living in like buildings and condos like as lab rats.
Yeah.
And I think what's crazy to me
Stacked
is like
humans.
yeah, what's crazy to me is this the further we go from nature is the more the suffering there will be in the world. It's just as simple as that. If you look at any city, any place that has the most depression rates, unhappiness rates, they're always the two cities that are furthest away from nature.
Yeah.
If you go to a city that's close, like integrated in nature, that place you'll never see unhappy people, and that's just like a crazy coincidence or a crazy just actual fact.
It's it's evidence. There's evidence there.
So there's literally
That's
evidence,
data.
bro. Like I mean, you look at there's a documentary I was watching, Happy, right,
Yeah.
and on Netflix, and they had this like they were very curious about like who are the happiest people in the world and why are they happy, and the happiest people in the world, according to their like data, you know, criteria, whatever, they found that the happiest people in the world were in this village in Japan called Okinawa or something, and they all live up to 110. All of them like have lead the happiest lives. They have the lowest disease rate, and they have the lowest mental health rates. Like pretty much mental health illnesses don't exist in that island.
Yeah, there's no
and there's no physical disease.
Yeah.
That's what they were mesmerized by. They were like, there's no heart attacks, there's no cancers, there's no nothing. And the number one thing it came down to was they were living in alignment with nature. They grew their food, they ate their food, they lived with the seasons, they pretty much didn't wear shoes. And I don't want to say like we should all go be hippies, but I think like it's
grounding
really,
is a thing.
Yeah, I think it's really important to not separate yourself from nature. So I think like for me, it's one of the biggest things is like, I guess to kind of like answer your question is it's unity. It's togetherness. Is how can I be as aligned with nature as possible? So for example, I'll give you this, and this maybe like the astrology comes in or Ayurveda comes in for me. So you know how in nature there's seasons, right? There's the summer, there's the fall, there's the winter, there's the spring. I think we're literally aligned with that, just like the trees are. Just like the
our
flowers
circadian
are.
rhythm kind of thing.
Yeah. So I think so. For example, a lot of people, because we think we're robots, that's where we disconnect. That's where disease comes in. Because a lot of people that I know, especially in North America, right? They're like, so season happen, they think it doesn't affect them, and they should just go as it is. So winter comes, they're like, I gotta be as creative just as it was in the summer. But it's like winter is time to rest. Your body is literally not going to function the same way it did in summer, but because we have jobs and goals to meet and agendas to fulfill.
Work week.
It feels like it's the same. So like a 9 to 5, for example, in spring should be the same as my Monday in a bleak winter day. Well, it's obviously not going to be the same. You know what I mean? And I think the important distinction is like, and that's what people what I personally realize is like, I need to honor the cycles of nature. And I think it's really important to honor the cycles. Like the summertime is the time to seed and plant. Fall is time to harvest and celebrate the seeds that you planted. Winter is time to rest. Deep time to rest and rejuvenate, go inwards. That's why nature literally makes it dark, so you can stay like indoors and go within, because all the dark now light has to come from within you, not from the sunshine. So now it's like you go deep, and you're like, okay, so this is time for me to find my light. And then winter gives you spring. It's like, okay, you find your light. Here's a reflection of that. And then reflection of that. Now summer, let's go plant new seeds so we can harvest. It's like a continuous cycle. So if you really And the beautiful way to look at it is trees.
Yeah.
Like trees honor that cycle. This tree standing right here, it's not being like, oh my God, I'm gonna die soon. And then it's just honoring the cycles. It's like my leaves are gonna shed, and then new ones are gonna come in the spring. And then I'm gonna shed, I'm gonna bloom, I'm gonna grow, and then I'm gonna rest again in the winter, which is rest, right? For the tree, it's rest because it doesn't have to take care of its leaves.
Yeah.
So it's resting in the winter, and then it comes alive again in the spring. So I think it's like it's just that beautiful. It's just that simple. Once you understand that, I think Sadhguru in inner engineering talks about that a lot. It's like, for example, if you consciously sit in nature for a second, and that's what changed my life. I think I had this like moment of enlightenment almost. It was this moment where I sat in nature and I was like looking at this tree, and I was exhaling, and I like metaphorically but also like quite literally saw it inhaling what I was exhaling.
Oh wow.
And then it was exhaling, and I was inhaling.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So once you understand this like deeper truth,
yeah,
it's like you automatically are like, wait, I'm not like what? This is all one.
I'm not
like,
separate from you.
Like I'm not separate